I'm Chantel with the Central Perk Dream Team, and I'm going to go over samples today, how I do them, what my tips are, what my takeaways are, what I've done, and all of that good stuff. So there are many ways that you could do samples. I do samples a lot with my follow-ups simply because I feel like people tend to buy more when they smell it first. Going off of the descriptions is never a good thing. I myself am horrible at describing smells, so I am all for smelling things first before it would be purchased by somebody. So this is kind of a nice way to be able to do that. You can mail them samples that you make. You can give them if they're locally, take them into an office or school, whatever you want to do, but there's many ways to do it. No way is right, no way is wrong. It truly is not a one size fits all. So whatever you do that makes it easier for you or funner for you to do, by all means, please do it. But I just wanted to share my key takeaways on this. So as a Scentsy consultant, we get early access to a lot of the wax bar collections that come out. Currently, right now through the end of the month, we have early access to the summer collection, which we have the 5 wax bars. Let me grab those here. This means that we are able to purchase the wax bars before they come out to the general public. Usually they are limited to 2 sets per consultant as far as the early access goes. And then obviously once it's open to the public, you can get however many you would like. But for early access, they do limit it to try and help disperse it across all of the consultants if wanted. So whenever we have early access, I do try to get these wax bars, A, to try them myself because I like to give honest opinions and reviews, and B, for sample making. You do make commission off of any of the early access things that you purchase, and they are a tax write-off too because you're using them for marketing to share with other people. So as you can see, I made my samples today on my lunch break that I had. I have done samples many ways. I have found what works better for me as far as time goes because I'm a mom, I got 2 kids, I work full time. Sometimes I just don't have time to make really pretty samples. So do what works best for you. So how I first started making samples was there were cute little molds that I bought at Hobby Lobby or you can buy from the Scentsy Consultant store. You basically will melt down your wax however many cubes you want to melt down. And then you would fill those molds up with the wax after they harden, pop it out of the mold, and then you can mail them like that. It's super cute. It's fun. I used to do seasonal like flip-flops for summer, Christmas trees for Christmas, like all of that stuff. It was very time consuming. So with that, I also started noticing that when I would mail those out, they would get to the customer and they'd be crushed. So it kind of eliminated the purpose of it to me and my personal opinion. So then I went to still melting the wax, but I would actually dip a felt sample into the wax. So the felt sample, we have different felts that you can purchase on Amazon or the Scentsy Consultant store, things like that. I'll share with you guys one that I have. There are fun ones on the consultant store that are shaped like a wax bar. There's fun ones around fall time that are shaped like fall leaves or pumpkins or whatnot. And then I have found these guys are super cheap, super affordable on Amazon, and you get a ton of them for a little bit of money. So what I would do is I would melt down the wax, and then I would take my tweezers and I would dip this into the wax, lay it on wax paper, and then once it was dry, which it would literally dry in like a minute tops, I would put it in a baggie and seal it up and do it that way. So a lot of people still do the felt samples, especially now that it's getting warmer out. You don't have to worry about it really melting and getting all over and coming out of the package and all of that good stuff if you're mailing it. So again, a lot of people do it. You do not have to buy the pretty, cute ones. Of course, if you want to, by all means, definitely do because it does make it fun and everything. But these are super affordable. You get a ton of them. I actually have a bag of them and I can share the link too if anybody wanted me to, but you can get a big old thing of this. This has 200 of them. Per wax cube, I usually can make about 20 of these, which is great. And the great thing about these two is they are thin enough that you could put in a regular envelope and you don't have to use a special stamp. At least I have not in my experience, because they are so thin that you don't have to worry about it being beyond the size of what they regularly like in a standard mail. So they're very thin, they're small, but it's just enough to give somebody the idea of what the wax smells like, which is what we want. There are some people that, you know, they'll give a whole wax cube out. There are people that do big amounts. Do what is best for you and your budget. Again, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. What I have gone to that is a lot easier for me, it's a lot quicker, and it still gets the wax smells to my customers, is I actually use a crinkle cutter, and I'll show you that here. But what I have realized and found over 2 years that I've been doing samples is I really have not got much feedback if I did fancy molds versus if I just did my crinkle cut, because at the end of the day, people just wanted to smell stuff. Of course, people did like, you know, the cute little molds and stuff like that. But if you're crunched on time, or you're crazy, or you're a hot mess mama like me here, the crinkle cutter works great. So I'm going to show you that here. So what I do is I have a cutting board specifically for wax, and then I have my crinkle cutter. You can get these at Walmart, Dollar Tree. This is actually a Pampered Chef one that I got for free for hosting a party a long time ago. But it's got that crinkle edge there, and it's not super sharp, but it's sharp enough that it's going to easily cut through that wax sample to make it easy. So I'm going to hold this up while I do one to show you guys. What I do is, okay, so I take one wax cube or a couple, however many I'm making. I'm going to do this up in the air. We're going to see how this goes. But I actually cut this into either 4 or 5. There for a while, or if I have a lot of people that I'm sending these to, I will shave them even smaller. Of course, you don't want them like paper thin, but you can really make however many you need to. So basically all I do then is I just take the crinkle cutter and I just cut it into, I'm going to do 4. And as you can see, I mean, it cuts through it really easy. So, whoop, that one kind of, this is the end result. Let me get the one that's not broke. There we go. So this is the end result. So this is 1/4 of a wax cube, and I usually tell people that it's going to be stronger when they purchase the wax. This is simply just for them to get an idea of what it smells like. I have customers that put them in their mini warmers, and they're aware that, you know, it's not going to be the strength of a full wax cube, but it at least gives them an idea of what they like and what they think of it when it's going. I also have customers that they just smell it and then they toss it. Another reason why I don't spend a ton of time on making them. But again, if you love to do that, by all means, please do. So it just makes 4 of these little shiver slivers of wax. And then from there, I actually purchased these off of Amazon, and they are little Mylar bags. Don't have to be anything fancy. They have different colors. I actually got some off Temu too, and they work amazing. So these are the ones that I got off Temu. You can get usually about 100 of these for maybe like $4 or $5. So not too bad. But the nice thing about these bags is you open them up. They're kind of hard to open. So you open them up, you put your wax sample in there, and then you snap it back shut, and you can use a straightener. This is mine, it's not plugged in right now. You can use a straightener, you can use a sealer. I actually used to have like a big machinery sealing thing, but after 1.5 years, it took a kaput on me, so I'm back to the straightener. So you actually would just clamp this when it's hot, and it will completely seal this. So the nice thing about sealing, oh my gosh, my cat's going nuts back there. It's always a crazy household here. The nice thing about sealing is it's not going to lose the smell over time. Let me show you one that I did seal. You can kind of see there. There's no opening it unless your customer were to cut it, or there's like a little perforated thing here that they can pull and rip. But the smell is not going to be lost with it. If it does melt in transit to your customer, it's not going to leak out and get all over everything. So this is why I like to use the Mylar bags. And again, you can usually get about 100 of them for about $4 or $5. So it's not too bad, especially if you're only going to be making a couple of samples. It doesn't really matter the size that you use. I usually do whatever I can find cheapest. I was trying to find, because I made some really small ones today earlier too. The smaller the better. If it's cheaper for a small one, guess what? It still fits that little wax sample in there perfect. So this is one that I made today, and you may notice it might be kind of hard to see. With it getting hot out, even though I seal this so that there's nothing that's going to be getting out of it, I still like to take a little bit more precaution. So I took one of those little felt samples and I put it in the bag here, and I do this in summertime. And the reason why I do that is because if this wax were to melt, this little felt sample is going to absorb most of that. People can still use this. With our warmers, they don't burn wax. They do not evaporate wax. So people, if this were to get soaked in wax, or if you did the felt sample thing, people can still put this in their warmer. Once it warms up to the point that the wax is liquid again, just take tweezers, pull out that felt thing, or leave it in there. I mean, I've done it before. I've left mine in there just to kind of have and use. And then when I'm done with it, I just toss it. But those little felt things, if it does get wax on it, people can still use it the way that they want to use it. I just put it in with my samples in summertime to kind of help absorb any extra, just in case my sealing just wasn't perfect that day. So that is what I do in summertime to kind of help prevent that. And that is my key takeaway, easy way to make wax samples. Again, there's a number of different ways that you can do it. No way is wrong or right. Just for me, it is easier because I mean, I did that super quick, and I made a total of 9 wax bar samples today, and I did it on my lunch break of 30 minutes. So it doesn't take long at all. So once I get that in the bag and I have it sealed up and whatnot like this, then I want to label it. Everything you send out to anybody you send anything to, make sure you smack your name on there, slap your phone number on there, your website, anything that you can so they can get a hold of you. Because if they love what you sent them and they want to order it, you want to make sure that they're coming back to you to order it. So I try to make it as easy as I can for my customer. If they smell something and they like it, I over time have purchased a thermal printer. It was not expensive. I got it on Black Friday on or maybe it was Amazon days. So yes, it makes it so much easier to use the felt sample in there. So this is the thermal printer that I purchased. I think it was $25. But it has been the best investment I have ever had, and I'm going to tell you why. This thing does not use ink. So when it makes my sample little labels and stuff like that, it's not using ink. I don't have to use ink. Literally, the only thing you have to buy more of is these little stickers over time. I buy my sticker refills on Temu too. They're cheaper. You can buy them on Amazon. You can get them at Walmart. So let me share. Oh, and I'm almost out of this one. Well, that's not going to help you guys much if I show you one that doesn't work because it's out of labels. But I did all 9 wax bars in 1 roll of these today. So let me grab a new roll and I will show you guys. It is so easy to use. I have like a whole little thing here. Okay. So basically when you get this and this particular one, and I am more than happy to post this link too if you guys want me to. You don't have to do this. I'm just sharing with you what I do personally and what I feel is more beneficial. So you're gonna pop open this little topper here. And we are going to refill it. So make sure that I put it in the right way because, you know, that's helpful. So I'm going to put the new thing in. We're just going to pop it into the little groover thing here. Pull it up a little bit. Maybe. Okay. And then close the lid. So this is Bluetooth that connects to my phone. I have an app on my phone. I have saved some of my labels, so it's super easy to print more. Sometimes if I'm feeling creative, I make my own labels. It just kind of depends. So I'm just going to show you one that I have saved here. So again, it is an app on my phone. It says Print Master. I click that and it pulls up the app that is Bluetooth connected to this here. So I'm going to show you guys. So I'm just going to print this top one here that I made. It is Wildflower Cotton Scentsy Fresh. So this is what it looks like. You can make your own ones. It's kind of hard to see because of the light, sorry. But you can, there's got to be an easier way to do this. Oh wait, I'll do it again. Here we go. Okay. So there is the text. You can do barcode. You can put in a website and it will make a QR code for you. You can click icon here and there's literally all these different kinds of pictures that you can put on there. There's border, there's templates, there's time. You can even upload a picture on here and it will print a picture. It's super easy. So, but for now, I'm just going to show you this one here. So once you get it created and you're good to go, you're going to hit print label. And then it's going to ask you how many copies you want. I'm just going to do one to show you. So I'm going to click print now, and then it's going to go ahead and connect to this. And it's super fast. Like, makes these labels. It made 31 at one time earlier today. And it probably made 31 in maybe a minute. If that, it prints super fast. I wish my actual printer did. So we're going to tear it off. And this is what it looks like. No ink at all. So then I just take this, peel it off. Obviously this is not Scentsy Fresh, but I'm just showing you guys. Smack it on the back here. Probably a little bit straighter than that. And that's it. That's all I do. I have templates saved on this app that I use. I just go in and I put the scent name or whatever. It's easy. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. This thing has been a lifesaver for me. Before I tried doing where I made cute little labels on Canva and then I printed it on Avery sample or stickers. But ink runs up real quick if you need to replace your ink all the time in your printer. It was a couple more steps than what this little guy is. I can take this on the go. So if we're in the car and I've made samples, but I just need to label them, I take this with me and just make them in the car on the go. Doesn't use ink. Again, it's a lot simpler, but you don't have to do anything fancy like this either. You can literally just get like pieces of paper. I've seen people take like a piece of paper, write the name of it, whatever the sample is in it, put their name on the bottom and stick it inside here. That's perfectly fine. Just keep in mind if it is hot, your wax might melt on that. It may not be readable. You can also just buy like just the blank Avery stickers, the real small ones, probably the ones that are like the return address label, but you can get 80 of them to a sheet. Buy those and just write on there what it is, but make sure you always put either your address, your web address, your phone number, your email, put something on there always to make sure that people know how to get back to you. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Because I guarantee you if people like what they see, they're not going to be purchasing just because how pretty your label is. It's all about really honestly just getting those samples out there if you can. My last key step with sample making that I'm going to tell you is to follow up, because if you're not following up on what you're sending people, you're wasting your money and you're wasting your time. I know it seems kind of daunting and it's a kind of a pain in the butt sometimes to reach out to everybody to see. But I'm telling you, if you don't follow up, you're wasting your time and nobody's got time for that, right? So what I do myself, and again, this is just me, you don't have to do it this way. I'm gonna share this here. So I have a form, and this is probably a lot. People do this online. I'm just a pen and paper. I'm old school. I like my pen and paper. So I would put the person's name. Let me get a blank one so I'm not sharing you guys people's information. Okay. So I would put the customer's name, and I send this to anybody that purchases. Sorry, I send these wax samples to anybody that purchase. I kind of go off of what they purchased to get an idea on what kind of scent I would recommend. So if they were to purchase aloe water and cucumber, well, I might send them a sample of Just Breathe if I had a sample of that. So I put their name, the date they ordered, how they ordered. So if it was PWS, if it was local, if it was somebody's party, I put that there. Product or favorite scent. So if they tend to kind of stick with just pods or a certain smell, I put that there, just kind of notes for myself. Put a check mark once I send Happy Mail. But over here is the Happy Mail sent. So that is where I would put what I sent them as far as a sample, so that when I do my first follow-up, I say, hey, I seen that your order was delivered on my PWS. Thank you so much for it. What do you think of it? And they respond back. Usually always text open-ended questions, because that more likely is going to get a response than texting something that doesn't really have anything for them to respond to. And then I usually follow up with it and I say, I sent some Happy Mail. I hope you love what I picked out. What did you think of tropical coconut nectar? Just like that. Because again, if you're making samples, you're going to want to follow up on that. So that is what I do, how I do my samples. There are many ways to do it. We also have scented stickers, which are amazing. Scented stickers, you can send in the mail a regular envelope, a regular forever stamp. The only thing with scented stickers is we don't have like the limited time collections available in scented stickers. So that's the only thing that I would say on that. But you know what? Scented stickers are amazing, and they're a great way to use to send for a little cost. So scented stickers, I'm all about, especially this time of year, because then you really don't have to worry about anything melting. Or you can do what I did, where I just shaved off a chunk of wax and I put it in a Mylar envelope with a little felt circle so that it melts onto there if it does. You can melt your wax yourself, make your house smell amazing, and then dip felt in there, let it dry, and put it in a package. You can use a little pipette and make your molds to make them cute and pretty. Whatever you do is totally fine, but I'm telling you, I have had such a great return by sending samples every time somebody purchases. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. One evening, beginning of the month, make your samples, set them, get them done, but send them out. Don't make them and leave them. Don't do that. Send them out, give them out. You go through drive-through somewhere, give somebody a sample with your information on it. Go to the post office. Thank you. Here, you can go ahead and have this. Tell me what you think of it. Teachers, neighbors, use them. Don't let them sit there and go to waste. Don't throw them away. You're throwing away money and time. Don't do that. Nobody needs to do that. But that's kind of my takeaway on samples. If you guys have any questions on it, let me know. I can also share my links in the bottom. But otherwise, I hope that helps you guys. So thank you very much.